Hello everyone, my name is Sabuno Morales and this is English Grammar 1. Before we start with the contents of the subject, I want to mention the weekly quizzes. The weekly quizzes will be, very important this semester since they will be the only way that we are going to evaluate your progress during the subject. Okay? Um, And through these quizzes, is it that you will get a better understanding of what the core of the subject is, all right? So make sure you do them conscientiously and paying attention to all the details that you are asked in these quizzes. For you to be able to do these quizzes, you will need a Gmail account, and the first quiz will be sent by April the 23rd. Okay. Um, so make sure that you have a Gmail account at that time so that you receive the quiz with no further problems and you can see your scores without having any problems. Well, now let's start by trying to answer this simple question. All right. What do music, medicine, mathematics, and motor vehicle maintenance have in common? Well, at first sight, it's just the M with which each word starts, but that's not what it's really asking, right? So the idea here is that every discipline has got language that is specific to it, all right? So in music, we speak of, I don't know, beats, rhythms, notes, instruments and songs, all right? Um, in medicine, we talk about illnesses, parts of the body, antibiotics, okay, viruses. The same happens with mathematics, and the same happens with cards. But there's in grammar, there's this difficulty, which is that the object that we study is the same as the tool with which we study that object, okay? And this is meta language. So meta language is language for talking about language, okay? And it has come into existence because there is a need for it. Linguists are not unique in using meta language. All people talk about language with varying degrees of meta linguistic detail, and that detail is the one that we are going to be working on and trying to increase um, along this whole school year. Okay, so we are language professionals, so we are required to speak with the appropriate language for our discipline. All right. So some of you might find it more difficult, some of you easier because you've been exposed to grammar before, because you find some parallelisms with Spanish language. But don't worry, we're going to go little by little. Okay. And as every um, as every discipline has its unit of analysis, in music we have smaller and longer units. Okay, so I imagine rhythm, it's a unit of a song, for example. In medicine, we have cells, we have the I don't know, bones, and then the human body and muscles. Okay, so as we have smaller and larger units, the same happens in grammar. Okay, and these units of analysis are necessary so that we make sure that we are taking into account all the different ways to describe what's going on within language itself. Because if we just studied language, broadly speaking, of course we can say many things, but we are not taking a look at some of the details which make up the structure of the language, all right? And these are the units we'll be working on, okay? Specifically from the morpheme to the clause, all right? the sentence is going to be a little bit left aside because of some reasons that we will later see. Okay, so in the simplest form, a unit consists of one or more elements on the level below. So a sentence consists of a clause, not of a phrase. Okay, a clause consists of a phrase consists of a word, and a word is made up of morphemes. So we don't say that a clause is made up of words. Okay, we say that a clause is made up of phrases. Um, Even though sometimes a word and a phrase may coincide. Okay. Um, for the sake of analysis, a unit consists of one or more elements on the level below. All right. And we parse the stretches of language, a sentence into clause, a clause into phrase, a phrase into word, so that the analysis of language is simplified. All right. Let's take a look at this example that we have over here. In this example, okay, that might seem very complex, is in fact very simple. Okay. Um, At sentence level, we would say that my sentence starts with the capital G and finishes in this top over here, okay? Nothing to analyze other than that, okay? At clause level, however, we say that my clause starts in grammar and finishes in analysis, okay? We have one sentence, we have one clause. Again, this sentence over here is made up of just one clause. This clause over here is made up of four phrases. Okay, so we have grammar one as one phrase. The colors indicate the boundaries between phrases in this case. Uses is another phrase. Grammatical units is another phrase, and as elements of analysis is the last phrase that we have over here. Okay, so we have four phrases that are made up of 9 words. Now, the words are fairly easy to be recognized because they are, I mean, the clusters of letters separated by spaces, as you can see, okay? So every color represents a word now, in this case. Grammar is a word, one is a word, uses, well, this is a Roman number, but anyway, let's imagine it says one, O and E, all right? Uses is another word, grammatical units as elements of an analysis are all words, okay? And these 9 words are comprised or are made up of 13 morphemes, okay? So take a look. Uses, in this case, is made up of 2 morphemes. Grammar is made up of 1 morpheme. Grammatical is made up of 2 morphemes. Units, 2 morphemes. Elements, 2 morphemes, okay? So we have many more morphemes than we have phrases, but the number between the phrases and the words, okay, is also not the same, because in this phrase, for example, we have 4 words, but it's only one phrase, okay? Now, it might seem a little bit confusing, okay? So we're going to focus our analysis only on the last 2 units, all right? On the word and the morphemes. Evidently, if we take a look at this example, we can already start thinking, or we can already start guessing what a word may be. Yes, evidently, it's a bunch of letters, sorry, separated by spaces. Okay, but the morphemes imply something else, because sometimes within a word we have more than one morpheme. Is that okay? The examples show that. All right. So let's go to this definition taken from Biber. Biber, Conrad and Leach, okay, are the authors that we're going to be using, and the book is Student Grammar of Spoken and Written English, all right? Now, it's important that you realize this. Every time we are speaking about grammatical definitions and grammatical theories, we are going to be standing from these authors' points of view, okay? Uh, because this was studied, this was proved, this was shown, and it's not something that we are just making up here at the profesorado. So we're taking these authors as point of reference. Okay. So going back to words and morphemes, over here we have a very brief definition of what words are. They are considered to be the basic elements of language. And we're going to be handling the concept of words in two senses. Okay. From an orthographic point of view, words we are familiar with in written language, separated by spaces. Okay, so orthographically speaking, remember that orthography refers to written discourse. Okay, so words we are familiar with in written language, separated by spaces, are words. Okay, words is a word, we is a word, are is a word. Yes, we're talking about the definition of words. And grammatically speaking, a word falls into one grammatical word class or another. Okay, so in this case, we're referring to words belonging to a class, complying a function, okay, representing structure. So we have nouns, which you have probably heard of, verbs, prepositions, conjunctions, adjectives, adverbs, determiners, okay? So mind when you are studying that we're going to focus on only these two definitions of words, orthographically speaking and grammatically speaking. That's what matters to us by now. And then if we go to the morphemes, okay, morphemes, evidently, as we could see in these examples over here, yes, they are part of words. Sometimes a whole morpheme is a word, such as in the case of grammar. Uses, however, is one word that is made up of two morphemes, okay? So they are parts of words. That is to say, stems, okay? Prefixes and suffixes. You are probably familiar with prefixes and suffixes from primary school. And stems is where the word comes from, okay? If we take a look at this example that we have over here, impatiently, okay, we can notice that we have three morphemes, okay? So we have the prefix m that is attached to the stem patient, okay? And at the end of the word, we have the suffix ly. If you take a look at these three elements, all right, you will see that the only part of the word, the only morpheme that can stand by itself is patient. Okay? If we say patient, we are meaning something. Okay? We are making reference to a quality of a person in this case. All right? So patient, we're going to say that it's a free morpheme because it can stand by itself. It realizes meaning, all right? However, if you say m or if you say le, you are not saying anything, in fact, all right? So these two morphemes, the prefix im and the suffix ly, require this free morpheme to realize a meaning. Evidently, im in this case is indicating a negative quality, and the suffix ly, it's changing the category of my word and describing how we do something impatiently. All right. So whereas patient is a free morpheme because it can stand by itself, Emily are bound morphemes because they cannot stand by themselves. They require a free morpheme to be attached to them, okay, or they need to be attached to a free morpheme, better said, so that they realize their meanings. Is that okay? Now, what I would like you to do is to go download the book if you haven't yet and read the sections that I recommend here on words and morphemes, okay? These are necessary for you to start getting familiar with the booklet. This is the most difficult it would get. Don't worry if you don't understand much. Reread, uh, take a look at the examples the book provides, okay? And well, get familiar with the book, all right? Now, go read these sections and then come back here and take a look at the second part of this class, okay? Enjoy.